Okay, so modal substitutes. So basically, what is a modal substitute? That's the question we've all been asking ourselves. So modal verbs express an ability. They can also express permission or a wish to do something. Okay, so we have some examples such as may, can, must, should, and not really need, shouldn't be there. So we'll take that one out, or we'll cross that one out because it shouldn't be there. So can anybody give me some other examples of modal verbs? The basic ones that we know. Dana, do you know any? Or Mike?
Probably.
Yeah. Probably is not a modal verb, no.
Okay.
Shall.
Shall is one, yeah.
You have?
No. So we have may, can, must, should, shall.
Might?
Might, yeah. Might is Mike, probably the modal equivalent of probably. So I probably will go to the party. I might go to the party. Okay. So we've got might. Any others?
Could? No.
Could, we were, yeah, could, yeah. Any others?
Have to.
Have to? Well, actually, there you go, Mike. So that is actually one of the modal substitutes. So yeah. So we have these pure modals, okay? So may, can, must, should, might, shall, okay? But the problem with these modal verbs is that we can quite often not use them in all the English tenses. So for example, I can say, I must finish my homework today, okay? So I can use it for the present. I can, at a push, use it for the future. I must go to the bank tomorrow. But there's no way that I can use must in the past. I must go to the bank yesterday. It doesn't work. And that's when we need to use substitutes to help us convey the same meaning, in this case, the obligation, but in the past tense, okay? So that's what we're going to see. These substitutes are conveying the same meaning, but they're allowing us to maybe be a little bit more flexible with the tenses that we can use, okay? Okay, so let's have a look at some more examples. So if we move on to the next slide. So using modal verbs in past or future tense. So modal verbs can only be used in the simple present tense. It's not technically correct because, as I did say, we can use them sometimes in the future. Can be used to talk about the past. Okay, will can certainly be used to talk about the future, but they're not as flexible as our normal verbs. Okay, so normal verbs, we can put them in present continuous, we can put them in the future, present perfect, past perfect. They're super flexible. Modal verbs are not. Okay, so that's why we need these substitutes. So the pure modal verbs, like the ones you mentioned, they have no S in third person. So that means, for example, if I was to say he can swim, I don't say he cans swim. Okay, there's no third person. Okay, they just have one basic form. And they don't need the infinitive form. So I don't say he can to swim. That's not right. And the next verb is always the basic verb. He can swim. Okay. Now, if we wanted to talk about the past, we could use could, but we could also use one of these substitutes. And if we wanted to talk about the future, we can't say he will can swim. We need to use a substitute. So does anybody know what the substitute might be of can?
Maybe